It's the Swole Patrol. It's the Swole Patrol. We're getting buff and looking like a big penis because we're veiny and we are so hard. We're lifting weights and taking care of our health and our fitness. It is easy to do if you put your mind to it, but you've got to make a decision to change your life, and that doesn't come all that easily. Yeah.
There we go.
That was one of our better ones, right?
Better and palatable. Clean.
Why? Because I didn't talk about licking my asshole?
It's something like that.
True.
It was, it was PG-13.
It was PG. It was full-fledged PG.
Yeah, PG.
Oh, no, because I talked about we're looking like big penises.
Right, see.
Yeah.
But that's a way, if you get truly jacked and ripped,
That's what you
you
look like?
kind of are one giant dick.
Oh, my God. Is that how you want to look?
Well, we have 3 viewers on Facebook now because of that.
Yeah.
We are going to do a Q&A. We had a guest scheduled, Mr. Nime Delgado, who I'm still very excited to talk to, and I plan on doing so in the future. But he had a tragedy befall him and his family, so we wish him the best. We wish his girlfriend the best. It's not my place to get into details, but something came up.
Okay.
And I was excited to meet him because he looks pretty cute.
He is a very muscular, very handsome man. Yes.
Damn.
And a vegan, which I think is very welcome on this podcast because we do so much talking about eating meat, and I'm not in either camp, but I think that it's always good to get a lot of variety.
Well, I'm eating a lot of vegetables now, and I'm losing a lot of weight.
Big fan of you on the Ellis Show. Looking for some advice. I'm 6'1", 185. Okay, you're a well put together guy. Looking to put on weight, but I seem to have plateaued. Eating a ton of chicken, steak, whole wheat pasta, brown rice, sweet potato. Also taking creatine, protein powder, and BCAAs. What can I do to help put on some more mass? Well, that's such a broad question. It does seem like you're eating well. How much are you eating, and how are you training? That's really going to dictate.
Did he say he's taking powder, protein powders also?
Protein powder and BCAAs. First off, okay, and I will answer you both via my my Instagram, and I will answer you over the show. Cut the BCAAs out. Branched chain amino acids are useless.
What does he think he's doing with that? Try increasing metabolism?
Everybody thinks that it's a
anabolism, rather?
That they're anabolic and that they're catabolic. Anti-catabolic too. Mm-hmm. But if you're eating tons of steak and chicken and taking protein powder, it's useless. Save your money.
Not only that, he doesn't even need the protein powder.
You don't really. You're going to get a lot better results. This goes for everybody out there. If you look to chicken breast, fish, steak, as opposed to protein powders.
Now, if you're one of these people that some people literally can't eat much.
Yeah.
They get nauseated, they'll throw up if they try to eat a lot of something, but they can sometimes supplement with protein powder. I get that.
If you are not lactose intolerant, I know that there's a lot of people out there, myself included, because I am a Mexican. I'm not a Mexicant, Drew. I'm a Mexican.
You're a Mexican?
I can't tolerate milk well. But if you can, whole milk. It's a great anabolic aid. Drink that with all your meals. It's a great way to add in another couple thousand calories to your diet. And do it with some high protein and healthy fats.
Again, this is for people that need to gain weight.
Right. He's looking to put on mass.
Gain weight.
He's looking to put on mass. Look, at 6'1", 185, do you really need to be putting on any more weight?
These aren't. We wouldn't call these health tips. These are training tips.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
There is kind of this Venn diagram of physique training and health. And there is a middle ground.
I'm not even sure they're circles. They're almost like starfish that overlap.
But they overlap.
Yeah.
And there is a nice middle ground where you can be improving health and your health markers and improving your physique at the same time. But the two are, even though they're not mutually exclusive,
they can be.
They go in opposite directions. Okay? And a lot of times people are eating to take care of their health and they're getting fatter. They're getting softer. A lot of times people are, professional bodybuilders are a perfect example. They're looking to improve their physique and they're losing body fat. They're gaining muscle mass. They're very unhealthy.
Yeah.
I really highly recommend the sooner you do this, the better. The more you look to err on the side of health in your goal, in your desire to change your physique, the better off you'll be in the long term. And there is physique benefits to erring on the side of health. There's not a lot of health benefits to erring all the way on the side of physique. Okay,
I would disagree you qualified. You said there aren't a lot. I would say on the physique side, if it motivates you, oftentimes if that's the only motivation you can find, you will gain some health benefits.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
and that's a good point to point out, Drew. I'm thankful you brought that because, look, if you're a 25-year-old and you're listening, it's really hard for you to be concerned about your health.
Right, that's right.
And it's very easy to be concerned about your six-pack.
But by the same token, though, getting that 25-year-old interested in weighting and diet and monitoring these things could have a long-term benefit for their health.
If I would have started thinking about longevity sooner, I would be a lot better off. I'm 39. I'm going to be 40 in a couple months. So I'm not old. But if I would have started thinking about things like longevity, like my health, a little sooner, I really wish I would have done that, and I would have been a lot better off.
You would have just stuck with speed and not gone to the speed balls.
How dare you,
Dr. Drew? Was that kept you looking at longevity?
I got that nipped in the bud at 21.
That's true.
So and a lot of people say to me, "Wow, it's really impressive. It must have taken a lot of courage to get into recovery so young." And I say, thank you, but I think you're off. I think it takes a lot more to get into recovery as someone who has a career and a life already. I had no other options.
Right.
I had nothing else in my life going for me.
Part of recovery is contemplating that you need to change your life entirely. Just being open to anything. And at 21, that's easier than at 45.
Hitting rock bottom at 21 with no job, no friends, my family completely alienating me. It was quite easy to see the writing on the wall. If I was my age now and had money and could probably write it a little longer,
you would have.
I would have.
Yeah,
I would have.
But again, that's one side of it. You can write it longer, where you can delay the consequences. But the other side is you can't take the time out. You're still a father, and you have careers, and all these things that are good reasons not to get sober. And then when you do get sober, you have to contemplate that everything could need to change. Everything you think of as your life may not be your life anymore. And that's very scary.
How do you lose weight if you only work a 9-to-5 job and that's it? Any suggestions? First off,
what?
Why are you only working a 9-to-5 job? Plenty of people, myself included, are much more busy than have much more on their plate than a 9-to-5 job.
I was going to say 9-to-5 job. I was like, oh my god, I'd work out 4 hours a day if I had a 9-to-5 job.
So, and that's not to be. I'm not belittling you. I'm not trying to be demeaning. But the reality is, if you work 9 to 5, you have plenty of time, even if you have a family, to get in a workout.
Now, in the morning, just do it first thing.
I don't know how to say that. I don't want I don't want to in any way be demeaning to anyone. But I'm looking at this gentleman's Instagram picture, and he's bigger. He's a bigger fella. So if you are,
well, maybe he's having trouble getting going. You know what I mean? Maybe he's having because he's carrying a lot of weight around. Maybe it's hard for him to have the energy to do all this stuff, and maybe his sleep is not that healthy.
Start with walking.
Yeah, start with something simple.
Walking is great, and 30 minutes a day, man, you can do it. You can do it. And here's what I'll say:
make a decision about the diet. You got to make a move. You got to be ready.
Drew's exactly right. Eating less than your basal metabolic rate is the key. And if that is only doable by eating a ketogenic diet, which for a lot of more sedentary people, I think is a great option. Ketogenic diets can be healthy and they can be beneficial in many, many ways. I really, if that's a serious choice for you, then I would look to Mark Sisson's Keto Reset Diet. Mark Sisson's, the way he breaks it down in that book is the most healthy and the most comprehensive way I've seen someone present the ketogenic diet to people in the mainstream. It's not too geeky. It won't be overwhelming for you. So I recommend Mark Sisson's Keto Reset Diet. Go pick up that book, available everywhere. And then also 30 minutes a day, man, get out there, go for a walk. I'm trying to see where this gentleman lives. But especially if you live here in Southern California.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, there's just no excuse, man. Get out there. The weather's great. Grab your dog, grab a buddy. Do 3 10-minute walks after your main meals. That would be so beneficial, and you'd really see the results. And also, remember, you're a lot more powerful than you think you are. And I don't mean you particular. I mean all of us. We're way, way, way more capable than we all give ourselves credit for. We're very negative, pessimistic narrators to our own story. And you just got to change the way you tell yourself the story about yourself, to change the way that you narrate it. And in the reality, we as humans are capable of amazing things, and this could be the start of the rest of your life. That's the way you got to look at it. Let's see here. Some other good questions came through. Let me go to my profile here. A beautiful picture by Will Pendarvis of Dr. Drew and I, looking very thoughtful. Can you recommend some meals for people who are on a ketogenic or low-carb diet? Dr. Drew, I'll let you chime in here because you're a guy who follows a ketogenic and low-carb diet. My first response is all animal protein with full fat is the primary choice.
Wait, what are they asking there?
Recommend some meals for people on a ketogenic or low-carb diet.
See, recommend meals. That seems bizarre to me. So steak and eggs.
Steak and eggs.
An egg and well, again, about as much meat that was fit in your palm. That sort of
animal protein with full fat, and that means chicken thighs instead of chicken breast, ribeye instead of fillet, salmon. These are always the supreme choice.
Literally, the one of the reasons I like the keto diet and the carnivore diet, it's so easy. So that we're describing steak and eggs. That's essentially what I do for every meal.
That's what you eat.
So I take hard-boiled eggs to work. I take a piece of salmon to work. I take a hamburger to work. I heat it up. Or we just made I don't know what the hell she made, like a big ribeye or something. I just sliced it up and I'll throw it in, heat it up, eat it throughout the day. And if I don't have time to prepare things, I use the elk bars from On It. And again, eggs. Eggs are such a great crutch with this diet.
And the protein efficiency ratio, the bioavailability of the protein in an egg is second to none. It's really a wonder food.
Yeah, and you can juice them up a little bit, put mustard on them or something if you want. I mean, don't put ketchup because that's all carbohydrate. But there's ways to make them taste better, and be creative.
I mix a tablespoon of balsamic.
Balsamic is a wonder. But that's got a little bit of sugar in it too.
It does, but I mix a tablespoon,
yep.
not a cup. Yep. A tablespoon with some mustard, yellow mustard.
Yep, perfect.
Bomb.
You can use that on everything.
Diggity.
Yeah.
What should I eat? What supplements to strengthen joints and ligaments? I recommend collagen, protein, chondroitin, and MSM.
And as we were talking with Chris Bell, if you can eliminate this, if you can get this, I'm pointing at the central obesity. Belly fat, if you can, and carnivore and keto does a remarkable job at that. It's one of the, in terms of sustaining the loss of this part of your, fat distribution, those two diets, probably the carnivore or the, no, like Vinny's, no starch, no grain, no sugars. That's how people are able to do that long term. And it's this fat distribution that has all these inflammation effects. Obviously, eliminating it is anti-inflammatory and will help your joints.
What weightlifting routine do you recommend while on a calorie deficit? I know I'm going to be losing some muscle in the process, but just wondering how to not lose too much. Great question, and you're very right. It's an unfortunate side effect, but you can't serve two masters. You want to lose weight, you're not going to gain strength.
But I probably do this wrong, but that's when I push the hardest. Because that's you're trying to maintain.
Yeah.
And you got to push hard.
What I would recommend is stay away from high volume.
Yeah.
You're going to want to keep the weights high, keep the weights high, keep the reps
and
low.
It'll drive you crazy because you'll start losing strength. You just will. It's just inevitable. But if you push, you can kind of sustain things. And
that's going to be more metabolically appropriate for you. The last thing you want to do is start doing like a bodybuilding split where you're doing a lot of high volume and hypertrophy training. I recommend
you could do a little bit of supersetting though, but it'll burn you out.
Jim Wendler's 531, or the Mind Pump guys, their MAPS programs are fantastic. I believe it's like the basic or the base MAPS program. Those Mind Pump guys they're wizards, and they really know what they're doing. So head on over to mindpump.com and check them out. Oh, by the way, that brings me to another thing. I got to eat crow a little bit. I don't know if eat crow, but I got to apologize. I got to make a public apology.
We interviewed Mind Pump, didn't we?
We were on the Mind Pump.
Oh, that's right. We were on it. That's right. Yeah.
And Drew was talking about the Mind Pump guys, after we got done with the interview and we were on this podcast, and you brought them up and you were saying, well, how did they do A, B, and C? And I go, well, because they're fucking on steroids.
Oh.
And I got a very nice email from Sal over at Mind Pump saying, we've been very open that we have always been lifelong natural athletes. A member of our team has mentioned that he used to use and has been open about it, but we are not juicing athletes, and so I just want to apologize. The only reason I would even jump to that conclusion is because they're so fucking jacked,
and they're young.
That's
the other thing. They're not that young though, but they're young. And I thought that's what you were going to say when I asked that question. It's like, oh yeah, which is a common response.
Here's my thing. I am from the bodybuilding world, and I'm from the bodybuilding culture. I don't practice bodybuilding anymore, but I came from that world. And so when I see big, muscular, lean people, to me, it's just you're on steroids. That's it, and that's the truth.
Well, but when there's lean, and then there's just ridiculously vascular and ripped, and then there's a certain kind of size and size distribution that you almost can't get the other way.
Right,
steroids. It's up in this area that you really see it.
I want to humbly apologize to all the Mind Pump guys and sincerely apologize and hope that they can accept that. And like I said, I didn't get some angry email where he's like, "Listen, fucker."
They're good guys.
He was just saying, "I just want to let you know I heard you mention it." And look, another thing is like listening to the podcast. So thank you guys. I appreciate that. Getting back to our last question. Best way to go from 215 to 170 without losing muscle mass?
Huh. Well, impossible.
Physiologically impossible. Yeah. You can't lose 45 pounds without losing some muscle, and you can do your best to preserve most of it, but physiologically it's impossible, and that's just the reality. I would say stay away from cardio. Do some if you feel like it's necessary, but when you're trying to lose lots of weight, a lot of people make a huge mistake and they rely so heavily on cardio. And it's a great way to burn the most calories in a given workout, but it doesn't do anything for you metabolically, and it's going to, in the long run, be harmful to you in your goal of preserving muscle mass and losing lots of weight. I would steer clear of it and just really use your diet to get those pounds off. And 3 days a week, 4 days a week of serious resistance training.
That's a lot of weight too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not going to be easy.
Yeah, it's not going to. Have patience.
That would. How much is that? 30 pounds?
45.
It's going to take over a year.
It should.
Yeah.
If you do it right.
Yeah.
I mean, you could lose 45 pounds in 60 days.
Well,
but
the way they're talking about it.
But you're not going to preserve any muscle mass.
It's going to be very slow, and that's how you preserve the muscle mass. Oh, and I guess this brings up a really interesting question. Would it be better, Michael?
Yes.
To go on some sort of highly restrictive but successful campaign to lose the weight, just get that weight off at any cost, and then we'll focus on building muscle? It's a really interesting question, right?
No, I don't think.
Because I think I'd have to do it that way. I'd have to.
Really?
I just think that's why I'm wired. Yeah. Yeah. Because the slow and go, I'd slip around too much, I think.
Yeah.
I think. Well, but I could deal with a really restrictive thing for a while. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's an interesting.
And how would you build it back up? Once you got it off, then I'd go on the carnivore at that point. I might do the whole thing on carnivore. I might do the whole thing on carnivore, but you'd have to really restrict the calories, and then just increase the calories after you.
I mean, I would want to lose if I was trying to lose weight and preserve muscle. That a carnivore diet would be ideal because you're gonna get yourself probably into some ketosis, and you're gonna be hypocaloric because you just can't eat that much meat.
Well, you're gonna have to, but you can more successfully do low calories with the high protein,
and you're gonna be super high protein. Yeah, keep the protein up. People think like, oh, I want to bulk up, I need to have high protein. Yes, it's important. It's more important to have high protein when you're dieting.
Yep. It's
absolutely more important for the thermic effect that protein has in your body and for muscle preservation. These are things that you need to take into consideration. Anybody worth their salt, anybody who's a coach for bodybuilding or physique competition, they will up the protein when you're in a leaning phase, not when you're in a gaining phase. That's when the carbs go up. Let's see here if I can find a nice question here for Dr. Drew and myself. I did. Yeah, I did. Thank you. Host a guest to talk about Olympic weightlifting.
Why?
No.
Why? Because
Yeah.
that shouldn't, except for Olympic athletes, that should not be of interest.
Exactly. That's like saying host a guy to talk about jiu-jitsu.
Well, that could be interesting, but there's got to be something that is only an Olympic sport. It'd be like, so let's host somebody that does the rifle skiing.
Well, no, people. There's plenty of like amateur competitive Olympic weightlifters, but it's just such a narrow. This is about
Tiny.
health and fitness. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily about being exceptional at Olympic weightlifting,
Yeah.
which is not a optimal means of getting in great shape. It's a great way to become good at Olympic weightlifting.
Right.
Well, hear both of your thoughts on the ketogenic diet.
Well, that would be more of a sport podcast. We're not
Exactly.
doing sports necessarily.
And there is, I'm sure there's podcasts for Olympic lifting, which is a great sport. It's an incredibly impressive athletic feat to be great at the clean and jerk and snatch. This isn't for us. What would like to hear both your thoughts on the ketogenic diet. Okay, go ahead.
I love it.
Okay.
The only problem is I can't keep enough fat on board, and I can't stay in ketosis. It's a balancing act that you got to really pay attention to.
I don't agree with you that you're not keeping enough fat. I'm telling you, if you're eating eggs and high-fat meats all day,
Then I'm just eating too much protein.
you're just eating too much.
Yeah.
You're just eating too much, period. If your problem is that you're not losing weight, you're eating too much. The end.
I don't really want to lose weight right now.
Well, then what's your rub?
No problem. My rub is I don't feel as good as I did.
Oh.
That was what I was, and my training sort of tolerance exercise tolerance is down a little bit.
How about resting more?
Sleeping more?
No. I mean, taking more days off from the gym.
I've been trying that.
I think
And that's hard for me too, though, because I can never tell when I'm going to miss my gym days. So I always try to string as many together as I can, and then when something comes in that prevents me from working out,
realistically though, if you go 3 or 4 weeks of training twice a week, you could be
twice a week.
Yeah, you honestly it'd do your body some good.
I did that fitness genes testing, right? And one of the things he told me that I found to be true is that I need to work out 5 or 6 days a week.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's not all the time. Even high level bodybuilders and powerlifters take deload weeks, Drew.
All right.
So, Drew, tell everybody what that fitness genes test is, because I always get emails and they say, "What's the fitness?"
Well, it's a go to the website and check it out. It's a really
What's the website?
Just look up fitness genes.
Okay.
And it's a thorough, the spit test and the stuff we're used to doing for Ancestry or 23andMe, but it's a very thorough analysis of your genetics and your metabolism. It gives you sort of ideas about what was likely to be diets that will work for you or kinds of exercise that will work for you. And I found them to be spot on in terms of their description of me, in terms of the kind of lifting that I benefited most from, the frequency at which I benefited, and the kinds of diet I would likely respond to. So that was pretty interesting.
So it's fitnessgenes.com.
Yeah. And I did a Dr.com podcast. I did an interview with the brains behind it. I don't know which number pod that is.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure
it's probably behind the premium
behind the paywall, I'm sure.
So you have to buy the premium package.
At Podcast One. But the guy's very interesting. He comes under criticism because he's trying to reach from a scientific standpoint, but he may end up being right. I mean, the point is, that level of esoteric science by its nature is controversial.
Maybe we can repurpose it for this show.
Sure,
So people can
sure.
hear
Maybe
it.
you can. Yeah, if you can ask them.
Maybe that'll be a holiday special.
Okay, if you can get it, by all means. It was a good. It was a good interview.
I'm 265, big boy, like it. Train jiu-jitsu 3 times a week. Stay away from simple
Wow.
carbs.
How'd you like to be grappling with him?
I would not like that one bit. Get side control on me and crush my entire fucking body. But it's weird. I've strangely built a tolerance to that because I learned jiu-jitsu. I went from white belt to blue belt, almost training exclusively with someone who's like 305.
What?
Yeah. You've met my friend Orlando. He's like this tall. And
He's 305?
he's probably 2.
He's not 305.
Oh, when I was training with him, he was.
This guy with the ears?
Mm-hmm. He's at least 285.
Really?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, man.
Fuck yeah, he is. And
That's all muscle,
he
then.
deadlifts about 600 pounds and
Jesus.
squats about
That's your grappling
600
partner.
pounds.
Oh, my God.
He benches about 450 for reps.
All right, I don't want to hear about it. Make me jealous.
But, so I built a weird tolerance to being crushed by bigger men. That doesn't say I'm
By crushing me being fallen on.
by physically having them on top of me
Yeah, like,
while I'm grappling. They're what's in side control. What's
you're like
called
a
side
quarterback,
control, or in mount.
like being a quarterback.
Yeah,
Have 600 pounds drop on you.
just
every
drop
play.
on me every. Yeah. So I got a weird ability to at least defend myself.
That's interesting.
Somewhat against much bigger people. But I train 3 times a week. Stay away from simple carbs and sugars, but can't seem to drop weight. Any tips? Well, you're just eating too much.
This is what you're telling me. Yeah,
you're eating too much.
It's you're losing. Your body kind of tells you when you're losing weight because you're hungry.
Just
you got to be somewhat hungry.
Removing a single macro like carbs doesn't always prevent you from eating too much.
Right.
And another thing is jiu-jitsu makes you fucking starving. I know firsthand. Jiu-jitsu in particular makes you fucking starving.
He's also heavy weightlifting, which also
just says he trains jiu-jitsu 3 times a week.
which also makes you starve.
Yeah. But keep at it. Keep at it. Good. I like to see that you're on the mats, and that's for a big guy like you, it probably took a lot of guts.
All right, we got to take a quick break. Plenty of great questions on the way. This is the Swole Patrol Pod.
Well, if you're dealing with addiction, finding treatment is difficult. It's hard to navigate what's out there. The truth is, every patient's needs are different and constantly evolving. I've had the pleasure of vetting True Recovery in Orange County. They realized, of course, that effective care can't be one size fits all because they're reputable and they care about their patients. So, of course, they're going to be highly individualized. They have developed a comprehensive range of treatments that can address all the facets of drug and alcohol addiction. And True Recovery's master-level clinicians maintain small caseloads, allowing them to truly personalize their care and get involved on a connected level, which is what the key to recovery is. They offer individualized treatment plans from residential to outpatient, and again, always with the holistic approach and focus on accountability. As patients become ready, True Recovery offers assistance with life and coping skills, school and vocational coordination, as well as community reintegration support. We hear this all the time where people get recovery but then don't know how to live. They don't know how to get out into the world. Well, True Recovery helps with that. I've spoken with True Recovery's medical director and was impressed with their range of therapeutic modalities and psychiatric services. This experienced team is well equipped to manage patients at all levels. To request information on how True Recovery can provide you with your personalized care or for that of one of your family members, go to drdrew.com/true, True. That is drdrew.com/true, True. Well, it's hard to believe a year has passed since one of the worst cold and flu seasons on record, but here we are again. So if you happen to catch a bug, one thing every doctor will tell you is stay hydrated. Proper hydration eases a lot of the symptoms of many of these viral illnesses, and sports drinks, water alone, is not the issue. You need to be aggressive. You need something like Hydrolite, full fluid replacement. Hydrolite is this oral rehydration product you've heard me talking about. It's better than anything out there. It delivers the right balance of sodium, glucose, and water, providing up to 4 times the electrolytes sports drinks can offer, all with 75% less sugar. So think about that. It's like taking an IV by mouth. But my favorite thing is at the convenience. I'm always on the run, so I use the effervescent tablets. You just drop them in a water bottle or even a glass of water. I literally never leave home without them. No one in my family does, for that matter. And because Hydrolite is appropriate for all ages, it's perfect for the little snowman amongst you when they come home from the school, perhaps sniffling. Hydrolite comes in great flavors, orange, berry, and hot lemonade, available in a pre-mixed drink, a powder, or, like I said, those fizzy tablets. I love those. They go everywhere. Come in a little tube. Every package includes easy-to-follow dosing instructions. Order your supply today at hydrolite.com/DRDREW. For a limited time, you can save 30%. We use the code at checkout, DRDREW18. That's Dr. Drew 18. So, either click through on our banner at drdrew.com or go to hydrolite.com/drdrew and then use that code, drdrew18.
All right, welcome back to the Swole Patrol. We're doing a little Q&A.
I have a severe memory loss from ECT.
No, not that one.
Oh,
the other.
I was going to say, what the fuck?
That should recover, by the way. It's electroconvulsive
No,
shock
that was
therapy.
the previous show. I'm trying to lose 40 pounds. How much cardio should I do, and how many times a day to get to my goal faster?
Yeah, see, that's
There's so many factors that go into that. I mean, because I can easily say, for baseline, I could say 0.
Right. I could say do 10-minute walk after each meal. That'd be about it. But
I don't know. I mean, I could see that it's a girl. That's about all I could see.
Her name's Lauren Katie.
She looks hot.
She's very cute.
I will give you that. And she looks thin. So
40?
How the fuck?
She wants to lose 40 pounds?
I don't know.
That's what she said.
Maybe that's an old picture.
All right. So look. So 40 pounds. Slow it down. You determine as usual, what kind of diet can you do?
Yeah.
Which one are you able to do?
Sustainability has to be a factor.
Right. If you
Correct.
have kids, it's really hard to do
Yep,
a
and-
paleo diet
I mean,
and
some
only
peop-
have meat in the house.
Correct.
And eat it. It's
But some people,
impossible.
intermittent fasting would work. For Susan, she has to measure calories and she goes on vegetables.
I log my food every
Yeah,
day.
she has to see it, the
and
feedback.
I weigh myself every morning.
And if you have kids, it makes it harder.
To me, that would drive me crazy.
It can be done. I do it.
Yeah.
I don't.
I see
made-
the Instagrams of
I
what your
sit on
daughter
my
eats.
butt all day. I never work
it
out.
challenges my diet.
You know, but
Just
I will
your
say this:
Instagram challenges my diet.
It makes it easier for me because my daughter eats lamb chops and broccoli, so
yeah.
it's not But let's.
And donuts and muffins.
But I'm not going to,
Dude.
Shit, I'm not gonna
Donuts and muffins.
bullshit.
Right?
Yeah, my daughter eats like a normal girl too.
Yeah.
She eats like a little girl. She has her treats, but
Her
it doesn't mean
macaroni
you.
and cheese.
It doesn't mean you have to.
No, I know. When I had triplets, I
Well,
was in
that's
the
you
car
had
all
triplets.
the time. I ate really well, but I went on Lindora and I had like all these little protein bars and stuff I could take with me, and I was in
Yeah,
total
but
ketosis.
here's the thing about our producer. She has no really significant. She has almost no hunger. Hunger does not happen to her.
No, that's
And so,
I
yeah,
like to drink though.
Yeah, me too. But so her calories may come with alcohol. That's sort of where her motivational stuff is.
Well, those are nutritious
After
calories.
a day
Yeah.
of triplets, you need a glass of
But
wine.
no,
Fuck yeah.
but no hunger. So she'll actually forget to eat. So her having sort of little things to keep taking here and there sort of become
Right.
sort of interesting crush.
But you guys talk about the paleo diet and I love ketosis and all meat diet, but it's expensive.
Yep.
It's a lot of preparation.
Yep.
It takes a lot of time. I've been buying so much meat lately. All I do is buy meat every single day. I have it delivered to
all
the house.
Drew does is deliver the meat. Know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
But
Know what I'm saying?
But honestly, it's like, I mean, right now my refrigerator is full of meat that I have to cook today, not only for him but also for the dogs. But it's like ridiculous how much meat it costs. It's so expensive.
Well, I will say this: you guys are affluent and probably get your meat at Bristol Farms or somewhere like that.
Today the
Ralph's.
newspaper they had like 88 or 57-cent turkey, and I'm like, Teresa, go pick up one of those turkeys, and they had like a $5 steak roast, per pound, and I was
It
like,
can be
maybe I
done-
should run over to Ralph's right now and get it while it's
it can
on
be
sale.
done in a very effective and
way.
economical way.
Yeah.
Chris Bell, who was our guest on our last podcast, he eats a carnivore diet and he's constantly going to Costco. And
Yeah.
you buy in bulk. You buy in bulk at Costco
No,
and
I
you throw it in
know.
the freezer. It can be done very cheaply.
We
I
use,
almost
Butcher
broke down
Box
and did that
sends
this
us-
week.
Butcher Box sends
but then
us-
I got to sign up for Costco too.
Yeah.
Butcher Box sends us good meats too. We get
And
that.
fuck Costco. Let me tell you why. Unless you want to potentially sponsor our podcast, in which case I love you. I won't go back to Costco. Not because I'm above it. I shop almost exclusively
You buy
at
too much.
99-cent store and Target. So I'm not. It's not like I'm a snob. I went to Costco and twice, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Someone came up to me and brought me their cart and asked me to help them to their car and push it. And I'm like, you just find the first brown man you can. You fucking bitch. It's not like I was wearing like a red polo or anything, too. I was like in like,
Vest.
Yeah.
You have like a smock on.
Christine said it's cheaper to buy a cow. No, but you know what? When I go to Costco, you're saving money on meat, but then I always walk out with $250
Yeah,
worth of
that's
stuff
it. Buy
I
too much
don't
stuff.
need.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the
I
problem with
can't
Costco.
get out of there without spending $250
Yeah.
on, a new set of knives and whatever.
So let's go back to our 40-pound lady. That one's 40 pounds off.
number one issue I want to talk to you about 40 pounds weight loss. Patience.
Yes.
This
Slow
is
down.
not.
Slow down.
If you want to do it right, this is not going to happen quick. This is going to be a year and a half of your life.
Yeah,
and
poor
she
Lauren,
wanted us to do it to help us do it quicker. Now, you can probably hang on. Running and jogging will probably speed it up.
Yeah, it sends a message to your body to lose weight.
Yeah. So if she really wants, and if she enjoys it, and if she'll do it, 30 to 45-minute run a day would have a significant effect, and she'll eventually be building that up to an hour and 15 or so, which is a great run.
1,500
not
If she's a young
calories,
person,
It's
if
not
she's-
going to help your physique much.
I
How
understand.
about like
but in terms of the weight
1,500
loss-
calories, log your food and your exercise and weigh yourself.
If you ate 1,500 calories a day and stayed good on that and lifted weights 3 times a week, you'd be a lot better off than running 45 minutes every day.
Yeah.
a female?
Yep, absolutely. In particular, a female.
Yeah. Yeah. She asked us how to speed up her weight loss, though.
Okay. Here, Lauren, do you want to have it fast or do you want to have it right? And when I mean we want to have it right, do you want to look like Paris Hilton? Do you want to be fucking a size 0 with your ass sagging down and your tits hitting your navel? Or if weight loss is only your goal, Drew's right. Just eat nothing and run. Yeah. Because you'll lose weight quick.
That's right.
But that doesn't mean it's going to look good. If you want to lose weight right so that you look like a chick that you put up your picture on Instagram and I have to immediately go to the bathroom and beat off, you got to fucking resistance training and diet. That is, I'm being serious. I hate to be crude.
And by resistance training for a woman, it's a little different than the stuff we've been talking about, potentially.
Right?
They can do lighter resistance, higher reps.
I don't necessarily agree.
She said no, still healthy looking. She's healthy.
Yeah, then I really think that she should monitor her caloric intake, high protein, and lift weights 3 days a week.
You know what I use is Fitness Pal. It's this
it's great.
app. I love it.
It's great.
And it just motivates me. I wake up in the morning, I get on the scale, I log it in. It just keeps me on top of it.
Is it just food, or is it also?
And it tells you your macros, so it tells you how much fat you have in your diet.
Is there also a workout? Does it give you workout too?
You can have workout. It has little workout stuff in there.
We should talk to that
exercise.
We should contact Fitness Pal. Let's do a whole thing with that.
Fitness Pal's a great tracker.
But it's more of a mental thing. It's just like, oh, I can't wait to see what I weigh today and put it on my thing and watch
she
myself.
needs all that feedback. I hate that stuff.
Why?
I'm too OCD. I would
possibly.
I need just
see. I'm more Susan's ballpark. I need structure and I need feedback because I'm ADD.
Yeah.
Well, I need to go on a cruise to Cuba too, and then that always inspires me to stop eating.
You guys fucking get an offshore account? What the fuck? Cruise to Cuba? Yeah. What are you going to play some baseball? What the fuck are you going to Cuba for?
Anyway, Shelly Sprague says hi. She's on a soup diet. She wants to know what you think of that.
I got some high protein soup for you, Shelly Sprague.
Why is Shelly dieting? Is my greater concern.
I know she's kidding. I think.
Okay.
I think she's joking.
I got a nice bisque for you.
But you know what? I have to tell you,
Shelly's been traveling the world. Tell her she's been. I see pictures of her in Rome.
That's right. Yeah. She's been eating pasta. She's lying. So when I went on this vegetable white meat diet, which I did, I lost 7 pounds.
Sounds good to me.
Cooking soup, just making a soup and throwing in a little bit of chicken and stuff, it really is satisfying. And making that cauliflower
I wanted to bring that up to him.
Yeah.
Discuss your little cauliflower thing.
So
she has this little trick she's using that's been pretty interesting.
So, it's a typical diet. You have eggs for breakfast, and fruit, and then you have only white meat and vegetables throughout the day. And
then she watches the calories.
And then I figured out this way to make like a stir fry rice out of cauliflower rice or rice.
Sounds awesome.
And it's just like stir fried rice, but it's cauliflower. And I make that and I eat it, and I'm so full.
So think about it. It's grated cauliflower, and she
rice.
Fries it up, and it tastes like rice.
Yeah, it's really good.
You ever tried this?
Yeah, I have.
And I
eat cauliflower rice. I eat broccoli rice. I think it's a great
broccoli
alternative.
rice.
Yeah.
Try that.
You throw an egg in there and some chicken or shrimp or whatever.
Sounds awesome. I never make fried rice, but I make broccoli rice and cauliflower rice all the time.
That's really good.
It's so good, and it tastes like you're filling up on something.
Yeah.
But anyways, I like the vegetable thing right now. It's working for me. But Lauren Katie said, okay, I will do it. Are the weight machines at the gym okay for weightlifting?
Uh-oh.
Yes, they are.
Hold on. That means somebody is very naive to weightlifting.
Yeah, no, and that's fine. Most people are.
Yeah.
I really, 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 really recommend purchasing. Take the time, and you're gonna waste more time and more money doing it this way. Doing it I'll just figure it out on my own way than you would to just buckle down and spend the $50 to get a program and get someone who there's so many internet trainers that are actually excellent right now.
Oh, really?
You don't need a personal trainer. The Bikini Fit chick, I think is her name. She's out of Canada. She has programs. Emily Schramm is another one that I highly recommend for women. I wish I could remember the young lady.
And what kind of exercises does she have mostly?
A lot of things. A lot of, there's going to be free weight movements. There's going to be machine movements. There's going to be cable movements.
So you're going to be using cables. You're going to be using free weights. You're going to be using machines. But you want to sort of use a combination. You want to educate yourself on how to do these movements, what they are, you're going to hit every body part. Do they divide it up? In the
absolutely.
So she's 4 days a week?
3. It depends. I don't know the ins and outs of the program itself, but I know that these are women
so 3
who
or
have
4
done
days
it right
a week
and will give you the right advice.
3 or 4 days a week, and you have to hit every body part, and that's with these resistant movements, and you'll What's your 10, 12 reps probably in that zone?
It depends. I think periodization is always the optimal way to do things, where you're spending 3 to 4 weeks in 3 to 5 reps. You're spending 3 to 4 weeks in 15 to 20 reps.
Well, at
the body.
beginning,
Well,
the
what
beginning,
about
though,
joining a gym and getting a trainer if you can?
Well, he's
afford
saying
it?
he's saying this is a less expensive way to do it.
Yeah, of course.
But then again, she has to join a gym to get to the.
See,
You have
like
to join a
if you
gym,
build
yeah.
muscle, you can lose fat faster. That's just the rule, right?
Yes, but
Yes.
yes, but you lose what you want to lose rather than what you don't want to lose. Let's put it that way.
Bikini Fit Coach on Instagram at bikinifit.com is her name, and she's not 22 and naturally thin. She's a real grown woman who has done it and knows how to look good. And she offers programs, and she does it right.
Let's get her on the show.
That's her. That's you're looking at her Instagram.
Is it bikinifitcoach.com?
Bikinifit.com, and she is Bikini Fit Coach at Bikini Fit Coach on Instagram. I recommend her out of
Susan's
Canada.
like following.
And
No,
then,
I'm putting it down for the people to see it.
and then also Emily Schramm. And Emily
Did
Schramm.
we interview her?
No,
No.
but we should.
We interviewed. Yeah. Okay.
Emily Schramm.
How
I
do you
believe
spell
she-
Schramm?
SCHROMM. And she is at Emily Schramm on Instagram. MFit Challenge. She has her link to her website. She calls herself the Meathead Hippie. She's great. At Emily Schramm is the best way to get in touch with her on Instagram. And then you can link to her different. She has 4 or 5 different programs. Getting strong, getting fit, and listen, these are women who know what they're talking about. I don't recommend just mindlessly following anyone. And then also, I always recommend the Mind Pump guys. They have 4 or 5 separate programs there. Ones that are based around just females. Mindpump.com. Those guys definitely know what they're talking about, and they have incredibly well-designed programs for people of all levels of understanding. There's going to be expert-level programs and baseline programs for people who are just getting started. So mindpump.com is a place. Because like I said, I don't want to recommend people that I'm kind of unsure about. I'm only recommending people I know what they're talking about and have proven with clients of theirs to show that they can get the job done.
We should get them on the show.
The Mind Pump guys?
Any of these guys.
Yeah,
It'd be
absolutely.
really good.
Absolutely. Let's see if I can find another fantastic question here for our Q&A of the Swole Patrol podcasts.
I don't know why you guys are so fuzzy.
Let's see here. Oh, wow. This is a long one. I'm down 65 pounds since March.
Wow.
Damn, good boy. Out of way. That's you must now. Again, I don't mean this as an insult, but you must have been big. You must have been really big if you're down 65 pounds since March. At the pace I've been going, I'm 3 to 5 months away from my target weight. Is there any dietary or exercise protocol recommendations you would give to lose fat in the stubborn waist and abdominal area? I know there's no magic bullet, but maybe there are ways I can be more efficient than that I'm not aware of.
No carb, no sugar, no starch. Bottom line.
Yeah, that's not a bad recommendation. Vinny Tortorix, NSMG.
And now here's something you and I never talk about.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Would a guy like that has worked his ass off and is doing really good and has a genetic thing and maybe has some laxity and some tissue there that he'd rather not be dealing with? What about plastics for him?
Plastic surgery?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liposuction. And
Listen,
whatever.
if you're down 65 pounds, I'm only assuming you were really fat or really big. I don't want to be too insulting, but you're quite large. If you're down 65 pounds since March, you're not going to get rid of that excess skin. There's no exercise protocol or anything. So
especially if you're older.
I definitely think that but that's not weight loss.
I understand it. It's physique, and it's a guy who wants to optimize what he's accomplished.
Right.
And there's a lot of stuff to be done. I mean, the plastic surgeon would, I think, be mad at us if we didn't bring it up.
If you're talking about the loose skin that comes with substantial body weight loss, I agree with Dr. Drew. The only way you're going to get that done is through plastic surgery. HGH steroids for middle-aged men, do side effects outweigh pros?
Well, the difference between HGH and testosterone replacement and HGH and anabolic steroid use. Right. These are different things.
This guy doesn't appear from his pictures like he's like an avid bodybuilder, so I'm going to say you don't know what you're talking about, which I don't mean that as a pejorative.
Okay, well, there's an interesting thing embedded in what you're just saying there is that anybody who's ever considering anything like this should have been working out intensively for at least a year. And have educated themselves about what the hell this is.
And be 50.
Well, but that's the next issue, which is I've always wanted to take these things. It would be the greatest thing in the world. Optimize what you're doing, get more out of it and stuff.
Yeah.
The side effects scare me way too much.
But the side effects in particular for you are for a narrow category of people.
No. I'm talking about anabolic steroids now.
I'm not talking about anabolic steroids.
Hold on.
I'm talking about TRT and HGH.
Then let's talk about TRT.
No. I'm going to say right now, the use of anabolic steroids in a recreational way or just for body weight gains or for physique changes, off the table.
Well, it should be, right?
It's not. Unless you get a paycheck for doing it, stop it.
But
okay, and this is from a steroid user. I use steroids for years.
I agree 1,000% with you, but I just want to make sure we address it because people are doing it. That's why I want to address it. And so just to say that, hey, I'm sure it's very appealing. Too scary for me ever to do it, so it should be too scary to you too.
And this recommendation comes, I think HGH and testosterone.
Now we're down to testosterone replacement.
HGH and testosterone together for a middle-aged man are excellent, and I do think the benefits. I do think the benefits outweigh the negative. Now, none of this, ever should be done without the close monitoring of a real physician. Yeah. Okay, not some guy at the gym who can get you hooked up and then you pay $500-600 a month for HGH. I need you to go get your blood work done and have a physician say, yes, your levels are at a place where we can adjust them a bit.
Right. And even then, we don't know the long-term potential effects. I'm generally a fan. The reason I would do it if I were not a prostate cancer patient. I brought it up a number of times to my urologists, and they laugh at me. So,
testosterone?
Yeah.
You don't need more testosterone, honey. I keep telling you that.
I understand, but I still...
You're just jealous because I have more than you.
She gets to supplement and I don't. That's not fair.
Well,
I'm big favor of female supplementing, though.
I was about to say bioidentical stuff for women is great and far overlooked.
Yep,
it's just
it's something we're not talking about when we're talking to some of these women. We should always say, "Are you over 50? Have you thought about proper hormone replacement before you get into your weight loss plan?"
Well, I should have done this instead of therapy and antidepressants when I was 45.
Yes.
So I had to go to therapy, which was very expensive. Then I had to take antidepressants, which made my hair fall out.
Yep.
And then I got off the antidepressants and had this hormone therapy, and I felt like $1 million. I was like, oh my God. The therapy was a good thing to have. I mean, for anybody, but still, it's just like, it was
she was angry that no one brought this.
One angry bitch.
Yeah. Somebody should have brought this up sooner.
How do I not be a puto? That's an incredible question. You're not a puto, sir. You're a champion.
How does one not be a puto, though?
Listen, it's like asking a question, how do you not be a bitch?
That is the exact question, isn't it?
Yeah. More testosterone. Testosterone is happy medication.
So you won't be a bitch if you take more testosterone.
That's why men are happy and
Susan,
women are always bitchy.
Susan, what if he's like 28? I don't want the guy going out and looking to...
How do I not be a bitch? Focus on...
Graduated exposure to discomfort.
Ooh, that's a good one. So ordinary misery, increasing grit, focus on making a difference. Huh?
A puto-ass bitch is someone who constantly avoids things that are uncomfortable for them.
Yeah.
Even if they know...
What would Rudy say about that?
You want me to get him?
Yeah. Hey, Rudy, come here. You brought Rudy with him. Hey, man.
Hey, what's up, dog?
Hey, buddy. I just didn't know Mike brought you, but I wanted to ask you about it. How to not be a puto.
Oh, damn, dog. That's like ¿cómo se dice? Like a multifaceted question.
It is.
Dog.
I know. I figured only you could answer it.
I learned that at my GED prep class.
Yeah?
Multifaceted.
Did you ever pass your GED?
I did, dog. Congratulations.
I
had a big-ass party.
Did you need that for the Jamba Juice job? Or?
Nah, dog. They hired me. I got that through my work release, through my parole.
Yeah.
But, I lost that job.
Oh.
I was hooking up too many of my friends.
You kept bringing me the wheatgrass. I wondered if I didn't have to pay for that.
I know, dog. And I was like using, you can order the boost.
like ginkgo and
Yeah.
like whey protein.
The
dog.
boost,
And I
yeah.
was including a little Yeska, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like
I see. So people didn't like the Yeska boost,
No,
or
they
your
didn't. I mean,
employer didn't like.
Most
the Yeska
people
boost.
liked it, but
No,
like there was one old ass bitch. She was like, "Oh no, I'm all hungry. My head's all fuzzy."
And is Sad Girl still taking the Yeska? Is she? I mean the Scranta.
No, I stopped putting meth in my wife's food. You know, because she lost 196 pounds.
Wow. See, Mike was trying to get somebody to help them lose weight. Maybe we should have brought that up. But
it worked.
But anyway,
dog.
how do you?
She tried everything though. That's why I didn't do it because I wanted her to be thin. I did it because I felt so bad because she worked so hard and nothing seemed to be working. So I had my homeboy, little puppet. He gave me some scante and then like I just pop it right in horchata.
Scante? What's that?
Methamphetamine.
Oh. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Rudy. Kathy wants to know what your thoughts are on HCG injection.
No, don't
diet
ask Rudy this.
program.
No,
It's
not for
dumb,
Rudy.
dog.
Yeah.
HCG's dumb, dog.
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, that's the HCG. The HCG.
Yeah. Isn't that
no.
like-
That's just a highly restricted diet.
Isn't that like cow urine or something?
It's pregnant. It's HCG is what your placenta makes it to mobilize fat, and it works, but it doesn't work that much better than just it's only 800 calorie a day diet when they do it. Yeah.
I just think like the HCG helps people adhere to the diet, which is the real part of it.
That's exactly
anyway.
right.
You know what I'm saying, dog?
Very well done, Rudy.
Wow,
Jamba
Rudy.
Juice, they taught you something, but how do you not be a puto?
Listen, dog. Every morning you wake up and you're thinking to yourself like, I got to do this today. I should do this today, but I probably end up doing this today.
Yeah.
You got to start doing the I should do this instead of what I end up usually doing. You know,
So you start with the shoulds, so you make sure you get it done.
If you're a bitch ass trick and you look in the mirror, you know what's wrong, dog. You know that you're not like working out enough. You know that you're not like working on that career that you've always dreamed of. You're just going to that 9 to 5 that pays the bills, and you're like, you got to take a good hard look in the mirror and say like, it's time for me to be a hero to myself.
Ooh, I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that, Rudy. I like that. The hero, awaken the hero is a new thing. I like that.
That's right, dog. Like, and like, realize that you're capable of doing it. You're just not allowing yourself.
Rudy.
Everyone's got a dope ass motherfucker inside them, but people end up being a puto instead.
There you go.
That's all I'm saying.
Wisdom, man. Spitting wisdom, Rudy. Thank you much, Rudy.
No problem,
All right,
dog.
get Mike back. Thank you.
Wow, Rudy. Profound.
He brought it today.
I know.
What the hell? Is
He's
he all
so
right?
good looking too.
He's a changed man.
He's a handsome man.
You like those big mustaches, Susan? Is that what they? Okay.
She wants a mustache ride.
All right, what else going on? Questions
Let's
there?
see here.
Somebody, Kelly Lynn, just asked if you're still married.
To Drew?
Me?
Yes.
I mean, it's an interesting question when we're talking to your wife right now.
Funny. Very funny.
Let's see here. I'm going down my Twitter. What does your butthole look like? It's nice. It's well maintained.
Are you still bleaching it?
No.
Are these questions coming at you right now on
Yeah.
Twitter?
Yeah.
He bleached his brown eye.
Oh, thanks for sharing.
He made his brown eye white.
Your thoughts on protein intake levels and any info on the program you started Dr. Drew's husband, Jason Ellis, on.
What?
Your thoughts on protein intake levels and any info on the program you started Dr. Drew's husband, Jason Ellis, on.
Did you put him on a
did.
dietary program
Yeah,
too?
not dietary, but
Just weightlifting.
I got him to up his protein.
All
a
right,
bit.
so what is your idea of optimal protein intake?
I always say start with, whether you're dieting or trying to bulk up, start with 1 gram per pound of body weight
Per day.
1
gram per pound. 1 gram. I'm not sure how to judge grams of meat.
What do you mean?
As opposed to ounces.
No, not 1 gram of actual volume of food. 1 gram of protein.
Okay, but if you're using meat, that's an equivalent.
Yeah, but you can measure. A 6 ounce. I believe 6 ounces of ribeye has like 40 something grams.
Okay, so that's a good equivalence, and you want 1 gram per. So it's about 12 ounces of meat a day, right?
Yeah, and and then if you, I love egg whites and tuna. Personally, they're completely devoid of. Now I'm not following a ketogenic diet, right. So they're almost completely devoid of fat and super high in protein, almost pure protein, with very low calories. So I can, if I get a 6 ounce slab of ahi, you're getting a ton of protein, 60 grams with very minimal anything else. I love chicken breast. For me, I love for people who are on a high-fat, low-carb diet, chicken thigh. Chicken thigh is fantastic.
But you're saying your entire daily intake would be a can of tuna and a thigh of turkey.
No, because I'm 175 pounds, so I got to have
more.
I got to have more. I got to have more. Now I'm not. This is again. I'm someone who's been down the rabbit hole a long time. This is a baseline start. Some people are going to have less. Some people are that's just a baseline recommendation. My thoughts on protein levels. That's a very vague question, so I'm going to give a very vague answer.
Yeah.
It's I would say start there and see how your body reacts, and then I'll tell you one thing: you're getting a gram of protein for every pound of body weight you have. You are going to see differences in your physique because it's going to be a lot harder to overeat. You're not going to be eating as many carbs. You're not going to be eating as many starches because you just can't, because you're going to have to make room for all that protein.
And then Jason?
Jason and I started him on for about 4 weeks. I literally focused on just getting his body ready to lift weights, strengthening his hips and his lower back, strengthening his shoulder girdle, doing mostly machines. And then after 4 weeks, the last 2 weeks, I got him under the bar. I got him deadlifting, squatting.
Is he doing incline dumbbell presses?
Yes.
I can tell.
Yes.
I can tell when people do that and do it well.
Yeah, and it's not, Jason's not.
I still think that's the core exercise. Bill Pearl used to tell me that was his favorite exercise.
I enjoy them. I enjoy them very much. And I also, here's a tip I got from Dr. Eugene Tao. Start with your wrists facing away from you so that you can get a fuller stretch at the bottom position.
Well, your knuckles facing each other.
Knuckles facing each other, but so you have to completely twist your wrists all the way around like you're going to look at your watch.
Yeah, Bill used to like to go all the way out like that too. You like to keep it that way.
I start it this way, and then as I twist the wrist and then bring your pinkies together to help accentuate the peak.
That's a little different move.
But
it's almost a fly that way.
I enjoy. Well, no, you're still pressing. You're still pressing,
I get it.
But keeping it here at the top, bringing your pinkies together naturally gives you a better squeeze in the inner and upper part of your chest. So,
oh my God.
Okay, this is a question for Drew. Let's end on this one because this is something that needs a doctor's touch.
All right.
How can I get back into squats and leg work while dealing with sciatica?
Yeah, I've always wondered about that because I kind of have some of that too. The best activity for your sciatica is walking, by far. Yeah. By far. Standing and running, not so good. Now, this is not an orthopedic point of view. This is a point of view now that Mark Bell, sort of provided me with, which was that squats done properly can strengthen the musculature around the spine and improve your symptomatology. And I always found that it made my symptoms worse, squatting.
Yes.
But I probably wasn't doing it properly, and I wasn't doing it frequently enough, and I wasn't doing other leg works, in the past. So I have found that if you're doing it, again, you got to get somebody to watch you squat, make sure you're doing it properly. And then start at relatively low weight and build up slowly, but do build up, and it will improve some of that discomfort around the spine. If there's any worsening, stop immediately and talk to a physical therapist. It's a dicey question because not all sciatica is the same, and I don't want to give you. I'm not trying to give you a medical advice. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what has helped me. But ideally, you should talk to a physical therapist before you do anything. You really should get a proper evaluation, find out exactly where the issues are in your disc function and in the soft tissue function. Make sure you're properly stretched, and then with supervision, build an exercise program. But ultimately, I'm just saying that I do believe it could help strengthen that.
There you go.
Improve symptoms.
That was a good Q&A. Thank you, everybody who submitted questions.
Get a good swole
Okay.
pose at the end. Okay. Oh, yeah, we have to end the show
Thank
now.
you to everybody who submitted Qs for our As, and we really appreciate it. And thank you to all our sponsors. We love you. And that was another episode of the Swole Patrol. Bye-bye. Hey, everybody. It is the Swole Patrol podcast. You can find me on Twitter at Mike Catherwood, and Dr. Drew is at Dr. Drew, of course. Join the email list today. Send your questions. drdrew.com/contact. and put Swole at the top of the email so we can get your comments. And this will get you a weekly email reminder with a link to this show and all the great shows that Dr. Drew and I do, and all the shows that Dr. Drew does by himself, and of course with Adam Carolla, the great Ace Man. Please tell a friend and subscribe on iTunes. Don't forget to rate us 5 stars. And on Podbean or Google Play. All 3 help us out. We also are on YouTube/Dr. Drew, and hope you can give us all your comments, even if you're a troll and you want to destroy our feelings and our emotions. Support our sponsors and the show. Click on the banners on drdrew.com for the links for special discounts for the products Dr. Drew and I endorse 100%. Send questions and comments to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Swole Patrol Podcast, or on Twitter @Swole Patrol Pod. And be good, be swole. #Swole Patrol.